Hey everybody, I just wanted to make a video about WGU. I actually hold the Masters of Cybersecurity and Information Assurance from WGU, and I hope that this video will help you to make some decisions about that program or if you want to enroll in any other programs at WGU. So, WGU is a totally online university. As you can see here, I have WGU North Carolina pulled up. That's the state that I'm in. It's an online university for empowering individuals, and they have a variety of programs at WGU. They have bachelor's, master's, licenses, all kinds of different stuff. Um, and one thing I'll talk about quickly is the bachelor's of cybersecurity. So I have a coworker that is taking this cybersecurity and information assurance bachelor's degree, and as you can see, it's supposed to be a 4-year program. WGU is usually around 3,800 bucks, 3,900 bucks for a 6-month term. And you get all of these certifications at WGU included in the bachelor's degree. There's a cloud practitioner from ISC squared. There is CompTIA A plus, CompTIA Network plus, CompTIA Security plus, CompTIA Pen Test plus, which is new. They actually added some new CompTIA tests in here, so you can see the EC Council Certified Encryption Specialist. They had some other EC Council certifications as well, but I think a good number of them have been kind of replaced by CompTIA here. Um, and this is a really great program. I know a friend who is in that program. He's doing it in 3 years as opposed to 4. The great thing about WGU is that you can really kind of push to get things done as fast as you want. Honestly, he is not really pushing that hard. He's been kind of enjoying the process in a way. And he's still going to finish that bachelor's degree in 3 years. And he's going to get all these certifications as part of it. If you're currently in college and you're kind of like, well, what's the point of doing online college at my university? You might want to look into WGU because I can tell you from experience that many job posting for entry level security, information security positions, they're going to have at least that you need the security plus or maybe even the pen test plus if you're looking for a entry level pen test position, or if you want to go into network design or network engineering, network plus is going to be definitely a entry level certification that they'll be looking for. So all these things are just going to help you, and it's included in the degree program. So I definitely recommend looking into that if you're looking for bachelor's degrees. I mean, they have a variety of different degrees as well. As you can see, computer science, data management, network operations. Network operations actually has the CCNA included, which is very interesting and kind of cool. That's definitely a certification I would even be interested in someday to expand my networking knowledge. But anyway, going back to the master's degree in cybersecurity. So here's their different master's degrees. You have the cybersecurity master's degree, information technology management, master's degree, data analytics, and the MBA in technology management. If you're looking for more of a business related thing, the MBA would be definitely up your alley. My master's degree is in the cybersecurity and information assurance master's program here. As you can see, they kind of outline the whole program here. Time, most people finish within 24 months, which is 2 years. We'll look a little bit more deeply at the courses and everything in terms of what you're expected to finish within those 2 years. Tuition, 4,190 dollars for 6 months, so about 4,200 bucks. Certifications, and you get two EC Council certifications here, which are pretty well recognized as needed for two different positions. So for forensics investigator, definitely CHFI is an industry standard certification, and for penetration testing, ethical hacking, the CEH is definitely an industry standard certification. So kind of the reason why I decided to do this program. Um, well, first of all, these two certifications were something that I was definitely interested in, and particularly the CEH. So, in my opinion, if you're going to be taking these two certifications, um, each one of these is probably going to be about $1,000 a piece just to take the certification as a normal person. So, um, this tuition of $4,200 for 6 months, think about that as $2,000 of that would go towards your education of getting these two certifications. So, um, My company paid a tuition reimbursement of $2,500 for 1 year. So this is literally the math that I did for getting this master's degree. So I said, okay, it's $4,190 for 6 months. I think after looking at the courses, which we'll look at in a second, I could probably finish this thing in a year. So take this and double it. So $4,190 times 2 gives us $8,380. Okay. Now, I thought about this and I said, okay, my company will pay a maximum of $2,500 for tuition reimbursement for an entire year. So we're looking at a cost of $5,000 here, approximately $5,880. Doesn't include any admission application fees or anything else or books or whatever, but this is pretty much the straight up cost. Now I looked at this and I said, if I want to take these two certifications, the CEH and the CHFI, that's probably $2,000 for both of those, at least. If I don't need any other attempts, if I pass it the first time, it's probably about $1,000 just to get the voucher and materials to take that exam, plus any other supplemental material that I might have to pay for. So that gives us a grand total of $3,880. Now, I just sat back and I said, $3,880 to get a master's degree, essentially. This is not factoring in those two certifications now. This is basically the straight up cost of the piece of paper that says you have a master's of cybersecurity. And to me, that was totally worth it. That is, I could easily save that amount of money in that year of time. So this was just an easy choice for me. $3,880 for a master's degree within 1 year. So now let's take a look at the course content, what you would expect from this program. They do outline it all pretty easily. It's out there. Right here, this is the standard path for Masters of Science, Cybersecurity and Information Assurance. How you can get here, off that Cybersecurity Information Assurance Masters here, you just do more details. And then right here, there is a download the program guide. So that's how I got to this program guide. And down here in the program guide is the exact path for the Masters of Science in Cybersecurity. So basically, how they have this outlined is these gray courses here, these first three gray courses. Let me zoom in a bit so you can read. That is your first 6 months, what they expect you to complete. So that would be the information security and assurance. That's just general information security knowledge, secure software design, cybersecurity architecture and engineering. That would be all included within your first 6 months. If you were taking this as a normal person, going for 2 years for completion time. Now, the next two courses would be cybersecurity management and then ethical hacking. This ethical hacking course, that again corresponds directly with the CEH exam. The entire course is about studying for that exam and then taking the exam. And the cool thing about WGU is that they actually give you a free attempts. So if you fail the exam the first time, you don't need to pay for another voucher for the second time, or even for the third time. I don't think the fourth time I think is when you have to pay for an extra voucher. They'll only sponsor you for 3 attempts at the exam. So I actually had to do that. I had to pay an extra $400 to take the CEH again, and I'll talk a little bit about like the course content and what I feel like someone could do to really pass that exam easily. So the next 6 months, you'd be expected to take the cybersecurity management and then the forensics and network intrusion. That's the certified hacking forensics investigator certification. And then you would finish up your last 6 months with secure network design and cybersecurity graduate capstone. So basically, what I did is I took these first 5 courses in 6 months, and I took these first 5 courses in 6 months. So what happens after you enroll at WGU? When you apply, you'll be contacted by an admissions counselor. Basically, they'll help you to get your transcripts, see if you have, work experience or anything that could cover very easily the courses that you'd be taking. So let's say that in your life you are a secure network designer, like you're a network architect or you're a network uh, designer or something like that. Um, you could probably test out of this course very easily. So they'll take your experience and your transcripts from other universities or other courses that you've taken over time and see if that will apply to any of these courses so that you can skip them and all that kind of stuff. Excuse me, I'm getting a drink of water. So the next thing that happens after you have your enrollment counselor and you get all set up with WGU. Oh, also the other cool thing is that um, when you enroll at WGU, they have rolling admissions throughout the year. So at a normal college, you have to wait until like the fall semester or the summer semester or the spring semester to really get started. With WGU, they have rolling enrollment at the first of every single month. So if I wanted to join today, the earliest I could get started would be January 1st. So that gives you a lot more flexibility in terms of when you start. You can actually choose the specific month that you want. So after you talk to your admissions counselor, determine what month you're going to enroll in. Then you're going to meet your student mentor, and your student mentor is a really awesome person. My student mentor was very straight up, honest, great guy. Um, and basically, what he does on the first day that you talk to him, he's going to ask you, what's your goals for accomplishing this degree? How fast do you want to do it? When do you want to be done with this degree? For me, that was 1 year. Like I said, if I finished everything in 1 year, I was going to get out of there with a master's degree for $3,880. I mean, the total really cost would be $5,880, including those two certifications. So I thought that was going to be easy to do, and that was going to be my goal. I didn't want to spend more money than that. So that was my goal. And basically, what my student mentor did, he said, okay, if you want to do that, then I will make the schedule for your courses. So, for example, I started with a secure network design here and then moved through other courses as needed. Now, all these courses do not line up to what I did. This information security and assurance course, I think that was called disaster recovery when I took this program. Cybersecurity architecture and engineering, that was probably a replacement of the cyber warfare class. And cybersecurity management strategic, that was probably a replacement of the policy course. And I'm not quite sure what the tactical course lines up to. I would have to really go back and look at all the courses I took to understand that. So I definitely took some different courses that are not no longer offered by this degree program. But I mean, regardless, the number of credits and all that kind of stuff is all the same. So after you meet your student mentor, they will design the course around exactly what you want to accomplish and maybe what you even have interest in. And so how this works in terms of when you're taking courses, basically you would click into the course and you only take one course at a time. That's something that's way different than any other university out there. You take one course at a time, so your whole focus is on just that one course, and that's really how you're able to accelerate through these degree programs at such fast speed because you're just focusing on one thing at a time. At a normal university, you have to take like 3 or 4 courses all at once, so you have different assignments and stuff due at different times. It's a lot more to manage than just doing one course at once. So that is one thing that is really convenient about WGU. You just get to focus on that one course and put all your resources into learning that one course. Okay, so let's talk about like what you have to do when you're in these courses. So this blog post by Brett Schaefer called "Recovering from Assessment Disappointment" kind of outlines it pretty well. So he says, let's accurately define these things as in what you do at WGU is one, either a performance assessment. He says, ugh, I have to write a paper. Or two, an objective assessment. Oh, awesome, I have to take a test. So yes, there's basically two different types of classes at WGU. One is performance assessments, and that is just writing a paper. And the second is objective assessments, and that means that you have to take a test at the end, or you have to take a certification exam at the end. So, for example, in this degree program, ethical hacking would be considered an objective assessment. You're objectively graded on that based on your demonstrated knowledge of the course materials via an exam. So you'd have like a 70% to pass or whatever. So that's an objective assessment of everyone who's on the same grading scale. There's no writing involved. And then the other one is performance assessments, which means writing a paper. So let me show you some of the varieties of papers that I had to write while I was at WGU. So this is from my policy course, and this is no longer offered as part of that degree program. I mean, maybe it's in that information technology management strategic portion. But basically, I wrote a paper about a hospital that disperses grants to other hospitals, and basically wrote some guiding security principles, things here that they need to focus on. So, for example, I mentioned like the CIA triad, foundational concept for remediating vulnerabilities and findings, and explained CIA here, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So, just going to scroll through this paper here. It's about 9 pages, and I would say that um, basically is average for WGU assignments. They're probably anywhere from 5 to 15 pages for an objective assessment. Um, so this one, basically, what I had to do was write about what kind of things this hospital should implement to remediate some findings that were found by an assessor. And of course, you have to do this with references, as you can see at the bottom here. So I have some references here, and these have to be obviously cited in the correct way, and then you have to do inline citations and all that kind of stuff in APA format within the paper. And also, I included some data flow diagrams here, stuff like that, all to make a complete paper. So, from that aspect, this would be an example of what I would consider an average paper. And basically, how these objective assessment courses go is that you have a a variety of tasks. So, for example, this is task 2 of my policies course. There's usually anywhere from 3 to 4 tasks for any course, and sometimes those writing tasks build on each other. So, for example, maybe in task 1, you'll write an introductory paragraph or 2 or 3 pages. Task 2, maybe you'll write your analysis, maybe you will do your whatever it is that you need to do. In task 3, maybe you'll do your conclusions. And then task 4, maybe you put all those pieces together. And then in other cases, maybe each individual task is totally separated. So another good example of a different objective assessment here, this is from my disaster recovery class. Again, this is not offered by WGU anymore as part of the master's degree, so I feel comfortable sharing this. And basically what you do is if you fill in a table, and sometimes after the table you'll add some extra information or clarification and go on to the next section. But basically, you're filling out this templated table with all the information and everything that you need to do. Um, and then a third example would be this cyber warfare report. So this is task 2 of my cyber warfare class. Again, not offered at WGU anymore as part of the thing. But as you can see, this is a 15-page paper, and it's all about uh, a Russian attack on the United States in a power grid, all kinds of different things. And I mentioned like intelligence gathering efforts. It's kind of a combination of cybersecurity threats and traditional intelligence analysis threats. Again, all of this comes with references and everything like that. So it's going to be a professional college paper with citable references and all that kind of stuff. And again, 15 pages. I would say any normal task is anywhere from 5 to 15 pages. So that's what you would expect from an objective assessment or a performance assessment at WGU. And objective assessments, it's going to be like a test. And usually you have a pre assessment before that. So even before you touch any course material, They give you a pre-assessment, and you take that exam, pre-assessment exam. If you do really well, you pass all the things. Your student mentor can even say, "Hey, go ahead, take the actual exam if you feel comfortable with the material. If you do not feel comfortable with the material, maybe you can take a week or two, study up on it, run through the course, make sure you're not missing any gaps or anything like that. And then when you're comfortable, you can go ahead and take that exam." So if you perform really well on the pre-assessment, then basically that's your ticket in a way to go ahead and just pass that course as fast as you would like. And that's really how people accelerate through bachelor's degrees and master's degrees and things like that within 6 months. And also, if you have these certifications like the CEH and the CHFI, you can waive those classes just by having those certifications. So I hope that gives you a good overview of kind of the different types of classes there are at WGU. Again, there's two different types. You have your objective assessment and you have your performance assessment. Performance assessment is basically a paper. Objective assessment is a test. So going back to this degree program and my experiences with it, basically I started with the secure network design. That course was really easy. I had a lot of experience with networking. And then I did some other courses. I don't remember exactly the order, but I hit a huge snag on this ethical hacking course. Okay, that course took me 4 months to finish. I started that course in October. I hit all the holidays. I hit Thanksgiving, I hit Christmas, and I did not even finish that exam until February of the following year. It took me 4 months from October to February. So basically what happened with that course is that I studied the material for about a month, okay? And I used WGU's provided material, which is actually EC Council's book on the CEH, and that book is humongous. It's like probably 1,000 or 2,000 pages, and essentially what you need to pass that exam successfully is to cherry pick the exact commands that they want you to know like switches for nmap of how to change your scan to do certain things. You have to know to that level of detail of specific commands and specific commands within those commands to do a certain thing. And to be honest, the WGU material and the EC Council book really did not prepare me for that kind of thing. Like I said, I studied for a month. I had gone through these other courses like a breeze, right? The CEH, I failed it the first time. I got like a 60 something percent on that exam, which is not anywhere near close to passing. You need to have a 70% in all areas of the CEH to pass. Um, and so, I didn't really know what happened. I was like, wow, that was not anything like what I studied. But the good thing is that your student mentor that is there to guide you and to help you and to give you additional resources as well as the course instructor. So they gave me some other resources to go and study. And about a month later, I tried to do this like right before Thanksgiving, before I have to, or right before Christmas, before I have to, go see family, go everywhere. I didn't want to lose my progress in terms of studying. So I tried to take the exam a second time right before Christmas, and I failed again. But I only failed narrowly, so definitely the extra resources helped. They gave kind of like a different study portal, some different practice exams, and all that kind of stuff. I came back from Christmas into the new year. I believe I took the exam another time after that, another month of studying with those materials, and basically the same result. So by the fourth time around, I had to pay for the CEH myself, and that was an extra $400. But my student mentor said to me, "Hey, you should go read this book." And that book was CEH Ethical Hacker All in One Exam Guide by Matt Walker. If you want to pass the CEH exam the first time, or maybe even the second time, if things don't exactly work out, this is truly the only book that you need. Um, do I feel like cheated by WGU by not having this extra material? No. I think that the EC Council material was just pretty bad. You can't give somebody a 2,000 page book and expect them to cherry pick the exact things that you want them to know out for the exam. So I think that the content was just not as good as it could have been. Um, And I never had a problem with the forensics investigation course either because I knew the methodology by then. I knew how they wanted you to think for the exam, so that definitely helped me a lot with the next course. Um, so for the ethical hacking, if you're taking this degree program and you want to really accelerate and get through that exam easily, I definitely recommend reading this book. I read this book in like a week or 2 weeks, and by the time I was done with it, I took the exam the next week. I passed very easily. So this exam guide is definitely a great resource, and I recommend it to anyone taking the CEH exam. So overall, how do I feel about the degree program and WGU as a university? Well, to be honest, the reason for making this video is that I actually miss WGU. I actually miss a lot of the uh, feeling of, having something to work on every day, having someone like my student mentor who was really there to drive me. And honestly, the student mentors are amazing because they help to push you towards your goals, even if you think that you can't do it. And they were a huge aspect of, helping me to pass that CEH exam, a lot of encouragement. And I think that's an advantage of WGU over a lot of other institutions. So when I did my 4 year bachelor's degree at a big name university, no one was there to check in with me every week. No one was there to check in with me every month. No one really cared until you're failing, right? So, I mean, when I was in my first year of my bachelor's degree, I did not do well in my course of study. Just gonna be honest there. No one cares until you're failing and you truly need help. At WGU, it's like the opposite. Someone's always there to check in on you. When you first start the degree program, your student mentor will be talking to you every week to see how it's going, how the course is going, and to motivate you to keep on going and to follow the plan that they made. Remember, the first thing they asked you is, what's your goal for finishing the program? Their whole existence really revolves around you meeting your goal. No matter if it's 6 months to finish the program, 2 years to finish the program, 3 years, or 6 years, they're there to keep you on track and to keep you going towards your goal. And just having that person to talk to about the courses, what you're going to do next, how you can improve, was really helpful. And basically, what you do with your student mentor in the beginning is they say, "Hey, send me an email with your list of things that you're going to do between now and next week, or now and the next 2 weeks." And that just helps you to actually, stop and reflect and think about what you want to do next and, what the overall goal is. So for me, it was finishing this degree in 1 year, and I did it in 11 months. So, I mean, that was great, even though I hit a massive 4 month snag basically on the CEH course. But honestly, I think that was just more due to course material. If I had this Matt Walker book at the very beginning, I think I would have passed CEH easily either the first or second time because he just explained things in that book so in such a great way. So, if you're going to do this course of study and you don't have a CEH already, definitely recommend that book 100%. I mean, I've heard of other WGU courses also kind of having this content problem, but I think the real problem comes from WGU probably contracts with those uh, exam providers like CompTIA and EC Council, and those exam providers say, okay, we'll do it, but you have to use our course material. So, the EC Council book, like I said, it's just a huge, dense read and almost impossible to really pick out exactly the things that you need. And definitely, if you're struggling in a course at WGU, something I learned was don't be afraid to use external resources. So for the forensics and network intrusion course, I used a Udemy course that's out there to really learn that stuff, and I passed like the first or second time. And for ethical hacking, like I said, definitely the Matt Walker book is a great external resource. So overall, I think that WGU is an awesome university, and like I said, you really have support throughout the whole process. At big universities, when you're doing your bachelor's degree, like I said, no one really cares until you're failing or until you might need to be at the point of dropping out, right? WGU is actually there to support you the whole time, and I know for a fact that they definitely make some adjustments if you're having issues with a certain course or you need to go slightly over your amount of time. Um, so definitely, yeah, something to look into. And the last thing I just want to touch on here is the capstone course, and again, this is uh, perf- a performance assessment. So the capstone basically is a massive paper at the end. Ooh, let me pull that up. One second. So this is my capstone project, and it is 47 pages of writing. So if you don't like writing, maybe it's not for you. But this capstone, basically, what you do is you come up with a project. So for mine, I made a fictitious company that had a data breach, and the project was to improve their information security policies. Um, Now, this course basically, what you do is you submit a proposal for your project. It might get rejected. So definitely listen to whatever the person who's your advisor says that you need to do for your project and really make it like accomplishable, have an X date, X time, and all that kind of stuff, like measurable things for your project. So the first thing is to get the project approved, and then basically these pieces of the puzzle kind of all fall together at one time. So you're going to be focusing on your tasks. So like task one would be to like write a project plan, all this kind of stuff. And basically those pieces that you write into the different tasks are going to all get pieced together into this different into this big project. So like the abstract would be one task or whatever. Don't remember the exact order, but definitely like the scope, defensive solution, methodology, justification, organization of the capstone report. That's like all task one stuff. So you pretty much like write out like the basics of the project, and you're gonna piece all these together, all these pieces here together. Um, and like you can see here, there's a lot of work that goes into this in terms of the tables of contents and all the different types of sections that you need in the paper. So, I mean, the capstone is more about a project of that you've implemented and it was measurable and you saw the success, XYZ, and you identified the risks to the project. All that kind of stuff goes into the capstone project. So, for example, like maybe a risk to the project would be, oh, X employee leaves, goes to a different company. Oh, we need to backfill that position. That might take X number of months. All that kind of stuff would go into this final capstone project. Um, for your final course. So I think this one just took me like a month, maybe a month and a half to finish the whole capstone project. So if you're getting close to the end of your degree program, or you're trying to figure out like how much time do I need to dedicate to each course in the master's degree, definitely the biggest ones would be the CEH and the CHFI, just because if you don't get the right course material, um, you're going to struggle with those exams. And then the final one would definitely be the capstone, because it's not really possible to write this depth of paper within less than a month. So I would definitely say like the capstone project would be at least 1 month dedicated. The other courses are, I mean, fairly easy. Those could take you anywhere from 2 days to a month total for all the other courses. So overall, I think this degree program is definitely accomplishable within 1 year. Even I struggled with the one course, the CEH exam, for over 4 months. That was like 3 or 4 times longer than my average amount of time spent on any of the other courses. So, I mean, I think anyone could easily accomplish this master's degree within a year, and maybe even some people within 6 months if you already have those certifications, or if you really cruise by them by using external materials and not being scared of, going outside of the box, so to speak. So, I hope this video is helpful to everyone. If you want to know more information about WGU, please let me know. I'm always happy to talk about it, and I definitely recommend the program to a lot of people and talk to them in depth about it. So thanks for your time. Bye.